Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Introverts, Extroverting. Joseph P. Huckness here with
Scary Teller.
and all right. So as I was saying, with fucking Captain Marvel, dude, like that movie shit on black women so heavily. Like you took Marvel, who was like the you know Captain Marvel. Okay, that should have gone to the dude in there, and he should have been the one to pass on the ring knowledge and not been like the bad guy. But the biggest kick in the fucking dick for me was we had another Captain Marvel in there, the little black girl. Her name's escaping me right now. But that character in the comics was Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers. And not only was she Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers, she was another, I think her name was Spectre during the Secret Wars. Spectrum, yeah, during the Secret Wars. And she was like basically got the title of Captain Marvel because everybody was like, yeah, there's no one else who's gonna fuck with that. That you may have, we will not question it. Just fucking take it. Now it's been like 30 some years since I've read these fucking books, so bear with me a little bit. But it's just like y'all took this badass black woman who could shit out a fucking better turd and slap Captain Marvel with any powers that she had, got reduced to the role of a fucking child.
But they are leading up to that into the next phase. I get that, but the initial part of it was like, wow.
They're not.
Monica Rambeau's character is supposed to be making more of a splash into the next phase with what's her face, the actress that plays her. Oh my God, what's the damn show? Vision.
WandaVision.
WandaVision, yes.
Yeah, I know. What the hell is her name?
And why can't I think of the actress's name? Because she's freaking, she's gorgeous as hell. Hold on, Google, here I come. Oh my God. What the shit? Why can I? And now my computer wants to go slow as shit.
Did you like WandaVision?
I did like WandaVision. A lot of people who didn't like it didn't get past the first 3 episodes and waited for everyone else to talk about it.
I really enjoyed it. I like Elizabeth Olsen.
I do too. And we won't talk about how she should have been Baby Michelle in Fuller House just to poke fun at everything.
Just saying, yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
WandaVision. All right, cast. There we go. Teyonah Paris. Sorry.
Yes.
Teyonah Paris. And she's the grown-up version of Monica Rambeau from the Brie Larson, since it took place in the 80s. So it only suits that she's older and coming into her powers by the end of WandaVision. So we'll see if they do everything right. Because I didn't read the premise on the movie The Marvels, but I believe she's cast in it. So is the Indian American Captain Marvel as well. So that should be interesting because she's getting her TV show also on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm 50-50 on that because it's like there's one thing here with all these other comic book characters that we're bringing in into movies, minus Miles Morales, is that there's a plethora of stories to work with her. With the Indian American Captain Marvel, it's like too soon. Like give her like at least a couple more years to have like comic backlog or make an original movies only character. That would be dope. But it just seems too soon.
You think?
Yeah, I mean that's just my point of view on it, man. Where it's just like I get my fucking exclusivity. I'm talking about strictly the character for the character for the character.
Oh, for sure.
You have tons of previous Captain Marvels to already work in without trying to play the diversity card of, well, we have an Indian American one. Let's use her. Yeah, diversity. No. Build your stories up.
Give them each their due, yeah.
For real.
I can agree
with the Falcon. I love the Falcon for one reason only. He grew. and developed across the strain of multiple movies that, if you put it together, would translate into a pretty good fucking pilot before even Winter Soldier and the Falcon came out.
Yeah, most definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
And
Winter Soldier too, everybody else, but like just that whole push, missed me with that.
And I can agree with that. Bucky Barnes' character definitely had character development. Sam Wilson's character had character development. I think everybody in phase 1, 2, and 3 had great character development over all these movies. And I think now, with more of the inclusion stuff that we talked about last time, it feels like with the Marvels, even though they are building up Monica Rambeau's character from Marvel 1 to a little bit of character development in WandaVision and into this movie, The Marvels, it's like they're throwing them all in the basket at one time. So I'm wondering if the show is, because I haven't looked at the timeline, I'm wondering if the Ms. Marvel show or Captain Marvel show of the Indian American is going to come out first on Disney Plus before the Marvels movie comes out, because I haven't looked at it. That way you get that development, and then it kind of segues into their, smoothly, instead of just being injected in there for the purpose of doing it. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I do feel you. But for me, I do it the opposite way, just because that's Marvel's standpoint. Like, why should this character get a show right out the gate? It's be like, okay, then why the fuck doesn't Shang-Chi have a movie right out the gate when his story is decades thicker? You know what I mean? It's like, put her in the movie first, introduce people to her, and then branch it off for something cool, but have it work.
Yeah, give the lead in. Yeah.
So let's see.
Exactly.
Let's check the timeline then. Let's see when it's supposed to be released. Captain Marvel show. Oh god, why is that? That is super small. Okay, it is. It says 2022, but doesn't say what day. So Miss Marvel is scheduled to premiere in mid-2022 and will consist of 6 episodes. It'll be part of Phase 4, and the series will serve as a setup for the film The Marvels in 2023. So there you go. She gets her own series first before she's introduced into the movie.
Then I hope that she's a minor character, because it's like that. With everything else, if they do the Ms. Marvel stuff right, with all the female Captain Marvels, with all of them, and this could be a dope way to edge in mutants with Rogue and that connection with Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel, whatever the fuck her name was at the time. That'd be a good edge way. But Disney's 50-50 on this, and so is Marvel, of pushing aside story content for inclusivity.
Yeah, I can see how
and that's going to backfire on them. Like, dude, like we were just talking about last time, the Eternals, they did such a good job on. Like, I saw a video on TikTok where this lady who grew up with like all the Bollywood stuff, like she was talking about how
oh cool,
god, how the fucking Indian dude, how his cameraman was like basically like Don Rickles of like Bollywood. Couldn't get no work anymore because he wasn't politically correct nowadays. But she saw that and like all the references in there that I miss, like when he was talking about how he was his father and then his grandfather and his great grandparents and so on and so on. There's actually Bollywood legacy family like that out there. I forget their fucking names. And I feel so underprepared just bringing it up, but it's like that exclusivity did right. But what they've done so far with Captain Marvel, besides making her the biggest fucking Mary Sue ever, like they need to come hard with that. They really need to come hard.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. We got time.
We do. I'm trying to hold out for something good, but goddamn. Right. Anyways, speaking of inclusivity and being done right, our dear listeners, that brings us to our topic movie, the Netflix badass film, Don't Look Up. Fucking amazing.
It made me sad.
I loved it.
It was amazing, but again, I agree with that. It made me sad too, but
oh yeah,
for a whole bunch of reasons.
Oh,
Absolutely.
For
And
me, to
go
quote
for it.
Homer Simpson, it's sad and it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
for sure. And so
Like,
it, I don't know. Go for it.
no, go, 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 no, 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 go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna jot down my talking points because I want to hear what you guys have to say first. I just finished watching it last night just to get my homework assignment done.
I want to start by saying one thing.
Go for it.
I'm not
What's that?
really a crazy Ariana Grande fan.
Me neither, but
The girl can sing. The girl's great. But when she sang that friggin' song, I lost it.
that shit was
Dude,
great because she said that
yes.
it was like it was an Oscar-worthy song from an Oscar-worthy movie that was going to be such a message to the world, which it was in the movie. And she sang that shit like she meant that shit, even though you listen to the lyrics, you're like, what the fuck?
I want that to be my
For
ringtone. Like,
real.
seriously.
Like that was just
So
the highlight
perfect.
of the movie. One of the highlights. Like, so good. So good.
Yep.
And let's talk about Miss Meryl Streep.
Dude,
That ass. Oh,
she owned that role. That was freaking hilarious. Like,
Amazing.
dude, 72 years old, she still get it. And as intelligent as that woman is, she plays one of the best idiots that I have ever seen.
right.
Yeah.
So here's two things about that movie, and take it as you will with that role, because we know Meryl Streep is one of the goats, and so you get another movie / show that has the first woman president. You're all for woman power, woman greatness, and this and that, but you make her not an oblivious idiot, but a what you call it. She is, oh my god, what's the freaking word? She is she's being enabled or enabling the shit that takes place in the movie. It's like she's smart, but she's dumb as fuck. She's like one of the smartest dumb people you'll ever meet. And I didn't like that if you're trying to portray, strong woman in power position, but I get what they were doing for the movie in that particular fashion. So that's for all the people that want to go in and say, they make women look bad, blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, they did it on purpose.
Yeah, that was the point. Like this movie, I feel bad not knowing who the writer and director and producing team was. This brought me back to Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Like every time I saw a comment online or a video and someone like the Meryl Streep thing, like, how dare you put this brave, badass actress in this role that demeans women? And then it's like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like that, the point of her role is to show you what would happen if you actually got Hillary Clinton. That's what would happen. Like,
oh shit.
I ever since she ran, I don't care. I don't mind a woman being in charge. I don't mind a white, black, yellow, red, purple, whatever fucking color she want to color herself and be empowered. Cool. Just not that one bitch over there from fucking Arkansas. If you get kicked off of the Watergate team when you're basically still a fucking student for being too corrupt, nah, son, I'm good. Like, I'm good on you. I'm good. Like, and then the whole fucking her being basically the butt buddy of Kamala Harris and fucking shitting on the chick from fucking Hawaii. Yeah. That what we got in that movie is fucking the best fictional portrayal of Hillary Clinton in power I've ever seen. Ever. Yeah. Amazing. Fucking Jonah Hill as her son, and like some of his fucking comments, the Trumpisms in there were just great. Just fucking great.
Agreed.
If she wasn't my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh bro, no.
Like, no, don't give me none of that backwoods.
I mean, I agree with you because she's not my mom. So yeah, but why are you looking at her like that?
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
Right, dude, just and Leo fucking
he was fantastic in that.
He knocked it out of the park, man.
That was really well done. Like, a man with all this knowledge, conflicted, knowing everything, people not taking him serious, and like, dude, that was fucking wow. He really made me believe that he was this scientist that had all this information that nobody was taking serious, and how it affects you when you're trying to get a message out. There's a lot of parallels in this movie, what's going on right now, that I don't really.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we can talk about it because that was kind of the point.
Yeah, I'm saying that I don't personally want to talk about it. It's like there's certain things that I don't like talking about. I'll listen to y'all talk about it.
And it's just amazing, the whole narrative in the movie about how people would rather hear about a breakup than about the world ending. Proven that the world is going to end. Yet the singer breaks up with her boyfriend, or they get back together, and that's more important.
My vroom vroom army. I love it, dude. That shit, like, dude, like, but yeah, I mean, dude, you're right, Scary, dude. It's like when he's sitting there trying to. I just got done watching it before we started recording. Just watched it again and fucking like, well, if Branston's stock prices are any indicator, this is going to be a huge success. And I'm just sitting there like, I saw a news story like that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like it's such just the scariness of that movie, which actually could really bring it into to horror, is how fucking accurate it is.
Yeah.
Like the world is
what?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say the world's literally an hour or so away from exploding, and the story that everybody wants to talk about: topless nurse intern centers.
Yeah,
that's probably the most appropriate line from that film. That right there.
This movie made me think of two other movies that really mind fucked me growing up. One of them, obviously, is Armageddon with Bruce Willis and that lovely cast. Yeah. How they approach that, and how that could really have been happening, and how much we don't really know about how many times we've come close to being planet killed by another fucking big rock. You know, they don't tell us, and it makes you think.
Where's like
makes you think, how many times is that going to happen, or has happened, and are we prepared?
What was the line from there where it's like, our near-Earth collision budget's like $2 million, and it allows us to track about 3% of the sky. And part of my French, sir, but it's a big ass sky.
It's a big ass sky, yeah.
Yeah.
So for sure. And then the other movie that it made me think about, I saw within like the last 10 years. Hold on, I want to say appropriately when it came out. It came out in 2009, and it was called Knowing, with Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
And this one, you know, that starts off with a time capsule and whatnot, and trying to figure out some clues numerically using math again, just like Armageddon, and just like, you know, Don't Look Up. And this movie took a weird spin for me, but just knowing that things are going to be over and there's not really shit you can do about it, that's the scary part for me.
Yeah.
But and just watching that movie, like, they made it comedic, but they also made it catastrophic, which I guess could help, you know, lessen the gut punch that you're getting watching this.
Yeah.
Because you know, a lot of shit that we watch on TV and at home and in the theater and on the news, a lot of that shit's to desensitize us from things that are really happening. And you know, all these people come up with these great ideas. It's like, oh, yeah, we've seen alien invasion. We've seen like a bazillion movies about alien invasion. When the alien invasion happens, oh, okay, so cool. That's what's happening. Great. Oh, you know, we got all out, you know, ethnic war going on. Oh yeah, we've seen other movies about that. Yeah, not a big deal. Doesn't surprise me. Oh, we got an end of the world, big giant rock coming hurling at us. Oh, we've seen enough movies about that. Like, stop trying to desensitize me to shit and tell me what's going on. You know, and it's all this stuff. You know. I don't get surprised by anything anymore, by anyone that I see or hear or anything, just because of what we've been exposed to growing up in pop culture and in real life shit.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So this movie really made me sit there like, oh fuck, like, and you know, near the end of the movie, as they're sitting around the table and they choose not to go off on the shuttle, They're just sitting there. They know they're about to fucking eat it, but they're still having a great time living their last moments together as a family. And then they're fucking obliterated. And you're like, oh, I was hoping something good was going to happen. Well, no, that doesn't fucking happen.
No, like I will say this: when it's a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, they tend to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
If it's about the world exploding, I'm gonna put my money on that the world's gonna fucking explode.
Yeah, and it makes you think about how greedy the powers that be are. Well, we have an opportunity to monetize this situation. Fuck saving the world. Let's try this first. When we could have already put our resources to what we needed to do in the first place. And that makes me think about freaking Avatar with the Na'vi, and they're trying to go mine that ore on there. And I'm like, wow, you're gonna like kill all these people, natives, because you want what they have on their land. What does that sound like?
Well,
So I mean, all these movies, stuff like that, it just makes you think, like, what's more important to the powers that be? And it's always going to be money. It's always going to be profit.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit about profit?
It's why everything with this coronavirus shit's being all hyped up, because not enough people have died from it. Like, the population control is a huge thing, and insurance is very profitable. So why am I going to start paying out when I can just say, oh, it was a cause of this. Oh, it was a cause of this. Sorry, that's not covered underneath our policy.
Mm-hmm.
It's more profitable to kill off people than it is to actually heal them too.
Oh, for sure. I don't, maybe you and I have talked about this before, but I'm in that same mind group set that we already have cures for lots of the things that plague us, but it's easier to treat than cure, and it's more profitable to do as such.
Why should I sell one cure when I can sell 100 palliatives?
Exactly. So and I like a good conspiracy theory just like the next person, but I don't live my life off of them by any means. I'll read a good one and like, oh, that's plausible. Oh shit, that could be interesting. But I'm not sitting here with my fucking tinfoil hat down in my bunker reading shit, like on freaking Signs with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix, and trying to calculate the next this and that and what I got to be ready for, But I will slight tangent and say, if I had the means and the money and I won the lottery, the first thing that I would do would be able to get me a plot of land where I can build my dream house, but also build me a bunker that goes down about half a mile deep, where I could survive for 10 years in that bitch. That's what I would do. So
my goal is to build a compound. So I feel you.
So, I mean, I would totally do that. But, back on the topic of it all is like, yeah, man, this movie can definitely parallel what's going around right now with the coronavirus and vaccines and non-vaccines and politicizing stuff that doesn't need to be politicized and whatnot. People are dying, and that's the main issue. Let's help these people that are dying so that they can be there for their loved ones. We don't want that to happen. But insurance, mechanics, childcare, all those are great, are great industries to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Ooh, someone's in trouble. Someone's in trouble.
The thing that made me laugh most about the movie was the whole part. It was actually kind of scary because I see this happening if anything like this were ever to happen. The whole scene when they had a chance to get rid of this friggin' thing, to divert it away from the earth, but because there were minerals on it and a scientist said so.
Oh yeah,
that drove me in fucking insane.
And that he looked just like Fauci too. Like, he looked exactly like Bezos meets fucking Dr. Fauci. You put them both together, you get that asshole in the fucking movie. It was perfect. And it's like, I'm sitting there just like, whoa, what? Okay, I know. I'm talking to my TV screen when I'm saying this, and I'm like, okay, I know you're a movie, but why didn't they just blow you up and then go retrieve all the stuff then?
Right.
And it's like that would have just made sense. But it's like, as you watch like the movie unfold, it's like, oh, you're real politicians. Okay, so this really wouldn't make sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but no, that dude, like the entire movie is oof. I mean, even the allegory there's originally supposed to be for, which would be global warming, and like you were saying, Al, like fucking the realism, and even like scary, the fucking scene you were just talking about when they're sitting there. Oh, this scientist knows what's right because $300 trillion. It's like, oh, what's up, Hillary?
It's like you go for then you go for what's the greater good of everybody. And and trillions of dollars does not trump billions of lives, but to a lot of people and places of power, it definitely does. And you see what it got them.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of doing shit. Like when like the scene, like the small scenes after they left the meeting when they're in the bar talking about like, well, was this peer reviewed? Like they still had time to expedite a peer review of this nanotechnology. But because dude was so up in his own ass that he has not only the greatest businessman, the greatest scientist, but a legitimate human or futurist, to use the Iron Man word, he fucked up so greatly. And I loved it. Like I loved every second of it. And even the parts like at the end where they're fucking, when they all go kablooey, that shit was sad as hell. It really was, but I still loved every fucking second of it.
Yeah,
like, it
was good. It definitely was, and I'd watch it again. It was longer than I expected it to be, but I definitely watched it again. I took a break in between, started watching some fucking cartoons because I needed to get out of that like this could be real mindset. I had to take a break from that shit. But it makes you think of like the character, the scientist. He was like an amalgamation of like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Fauci, who you said was like, dude, this is like the future in technology and whatnot, with the phone and it knowing your mood and listening to you and giving you specific ads. Oh, it totally just bought me another such and such. You downloaded the single. It's like, dude, like how much do I want technology to control my life? And it's making parallels to exactly what's going on in today's world. And it's kind of creepy that they are making a caricature out of it based on this movie, but it really makes you think how real this could be and where we're going. And if you want to think back to even an older movie, what was it, 97, 98? But freaking Enemy of the State with Will Smith. It makes you think like how much of this is true, but we know that the government has technology that's supposed to be 10, 20 years ahead of what was released to the public. So they've been, what's the word? They've been surveying us for decades. And that movie really made you think like, oh shit. And even the movie Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf, stuff like that. You're like, wow, how much of this monitoring and privacy do I really have with all these devices and you're listening to me and sending me ads about shit when I download something and a sign of agreement? Well, it gives us access to your microphone, to your blah, 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 and this and that. And you're like, well, there's really no way to hide anywhere anymore.
Yep. You have a choice. Either you're on the grid or you're off of the grid. And if you choose to go off of the grid, it's being brought in everything you can to be forced to stay on the grid. I mean, there's this dude in fucking Kentucky who lost his house and was evicted by the state government because he refused to buy their electricity.
Oh shit.
Damn.
And he like legit, like for years he just refused to buy their shit, and they took he's like, you have to have electricity, you have to have this, you have to have this. It's like, but I don't want it.
Right.
Well, you have to have it. No, I don't. That's the things that like movies like this that I love, because it's a fictional reflection of that. Like, oh, you don't need safety. We'll tell you what you need. What you need is to look down.
Don't look up.
Yeah.
Right. They literally told them not to freaking look up at what was fact in front of your fucking face to still try to deceive someone with facts. And that takes me back to some other shit that I've gotten some heated discussions about and still maintain my cool because try to be a cool person all the time. But, she's talking about like racism and shit like that. You put facts, not statistics, because any statistic can be manipulated. I took business stats in college. I know how to manipulate some samples. So you can stats say anything that you want to for your narrative. But when you state facts about something, this and that, of who did what, who did when, where, and you have it like undeniably on camera, it's like, oh, well, that could be deep fake, or, no, that's not how it happened. You put facts in somebody's fucking face, and it's still not enough to make their opinion more informed than what it was.
Yeah.
That shit drives me crazy about us as a people.
And in this day and age, if you express it the way Jennifer Lawrence did, you become a meme.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny how Leonardo DiCaprio's character was trying to be Rain the cool one, and then he flips out, but he didn't become the meme.
Yeah, but he just ended up in the back of the car with the sack over his head.
Like, dude, I laughed. I was like, it's coming. It's totally coming.
I know.
You're right. Like, I love that shit. It's like, oh yeah, the government doesn't do that. Boom, there they are. Yeah, it's a CIA thing. I just, I wanted them to do it because I can. It's like, yeah, that right there is why I'm glad I never ran for office, because I would probably be like a politician, bro, type of person. I would do some shit like that. I would find the most obscure powers within my office and just walk around and use them.
Yeah.
Sir, why are you walking an elk? Because I fucking can. Why aren't
the question is, why aren't you? Exactly.
Right? Know your laws. Fuck the Second Amendment. Statute 15863, Clause 2. Elk riding, bitch. Know about it.
You should all be doing it.
Right? Now let's go duel, because we can still duel in this motherfucker. But it's like, dude, the one thing that I loved about this movie is the same thing I love that happened a little earlier last year, when the government tells people stuff point blank, no spin, no shade, no nothing. Like in this movie, they first came out and said that this meteor is going to come and blow you the fuck up. We're the top scientists in this field. We come from the school with one of the best astrology programs out there. This is coming to blow you up. Right. Cool. Earlier this year or last year, hey guys, aliens are real. We've been communicating with them the whole time. Here's all the archives that have been declassified under the Freedom of Information Act. Humanity? Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Like, fucking excuse me. Like, dude, I was in a deep dive when I first saw that shit, dude, about the aliens, dude. I was in a deep dive for a fucking month, dude. Oh my God. Like Eisenhower disappearing and all that shit. Like what his testimony was of where he went. Shit.
Yeah.
But like seeing that stuff, like I love movies like this because it opens up people's eyes when they get that, like you guys were talking about, that whole like, hey, wait a minute. You know what I mean? You get that connection of, oh, are we still watching the movie?
Yeah.
Like, did somebody put on the news?
For sure.
I don't know. That may just be me, because I do read a lot of government files, and like it doesn't shock me either. Like I know it should, but like if there was like also like some report that like an actual plague was happening, or like a nuclear winter was coming or some shit like that, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm surprised Yellowstone hasn't blown up yet. It's fucking closer than ever.
Yeah. So I just made a startling like aha moment to myself just watching this movie and us talking about it right now. And it's saying don't look up, and trying to keep the wool over their eyes, you know what I'm saying, from the truth. Mm-hmm. And the scene when the Cappuccino gets out of his car and looks up, and it's like, there it is, it's fucking right there, look up at it, it's right there. But don't look up could be very symbolic today, and make a comparison or analogy from don't look up from what's in front of you right now to see what's really happening in the world, because what are we always looking down into right now?
Our
Devices.
phones.
Devices, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
that could totally be like another message behind the movie as well, and saying don't look up. Well, look up. Take a step back, look up from what you're staring at on your screen, and actually look at what's happening in the world. Well, I'm looking at what's happening in the world on my screen. Like no, get out. Well, I'm not gonna get out there per se, because I'm really not trying to fuck with this COVID shit. But at the same time, get out there, like
Disconnect.
and symbolically get out there and see what's happening. Look up from these things that have us fixated so much and has our attention so much, and actually pay attention to what's happening around you. And you might be surprised at some of the outcomes if enough people look up
And actually realize the reality of a situation, not just what you're told the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Or the infamous line, it's 99.97% going to hit us, so it's not 100%. Like, really?
Like, bruh.
Exactly.
I was okay. So here's the I don't even know if cynic or is the right word, or the dark fucked up side of my personality. Like, as soon as they said we'll assess the situation and we'll sit on it, I was like, I hope this bitch ass blows up within like the next hour. Like, these motherfuckers have their fucking heads up inside their own ass. Tis like, well, we're gonna get another team of scientists. Like, oh, our bad. Let's go ahead and embarrass you out in public and bring the FBI in and this and that and drag you in just to tell you that our bad, you were wrong, we weren't.
Like, just that you're from, you said University of Michigan. Yes, you have one of the best astrology courses. But Michigan, you want to see my fucking SAT scores? Like, oh, get them.
Yeah.
Woo!
And I was like, why are you trying to discredit her just because she's a female, or what? Or because it's Michigan, or both? Like, what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to insinuate? And he only has that job because his mom's the fucking president. So, and so I did laugh when he got left behind.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
That was so appropriate.
Agreed.
Holy shit.
When she forgot his name.
She's like, oh.
The only thing that would have been perfect is when he was under the rubble, if a sack fell on his head.
Nice.
That would have been poetic to me.
Yes.
No, but the movie itself stirred up so much crap for me, because I'm watching it and they send those little things up to like blow it apart and everything to pieces and everything like that. And then in your mind, you go, God, I hope they fail. And then like, wait a minute, if they fail, then it's going to hit the earth and everyone's going to die. Wait, how am I feeling right now?
Yeah.
I have to cheer for the bad guys.
Right.
I don't want to cheer for the bad guys.
The bad guy being the fucking comet.
Yeah, but that dinner scene, man, that messed my whole world up.
Dude, that was beautiful. Like, that right there, in my opinion, was one of the best examples of scripting, directing, and cinematography that I have seen from a nonfiction type film setting, like family around a table, in a long time. Ever since like Twister. Like that dinner scene, like that one scene in Twister, I got that same vibe from that shit too.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God. Like when the table just starts shaking, you're like, oh no. And then they're still talking. You don't know when it's gonna hit, but then all of a sudden, boom, it's like, oh shit.
You see Leo just start grabbing his kid and his wife. It's like, oh, my butthole's puckering. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. No, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. And can we briefly talk about how there was a moment of comedic relief after all of the destruction when fucking President Orlean finally gets taken out?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because you knew it was going to come back. You knew it was going to come back when he said it, because you knew the science that he had behind it was sound, even, because he was so full of himself. He knew that his stuff worked. But, you're like, okay, wow. Like, oh, all right. That's Bronner Rock.
That was great.
it leads you to believe that did everybody get fucking destroyed by Bronner Rocks because they were encircling them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my money was probably on that pod of them getting fucked up before some had the smart ideas to go inside and put clothes on. But I'm guessing that those right there got the shit ate out of them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Even Isherwell, his freaking cocky ass self. But you know, his character reminded me of what's his face from Ready Player One, the guy behind everything. His mannerism.
Oh
yeah. Oh my
God.
Yeah.
Especially with the speech pattern.
Exactly. So I was like, what? Who does this remind me of? And you know, the white hair and everything, the kind of reclused person, you know, don't make direct eye contact with me kind of thing. And all that shit. I was like, that's very, very similar. And I'm like, what was it? Ready Player One. So yeah.
They did straight throw his they did make him an evil autistic person.
Yeah. And
good for them.
You know, it makes me think, you know, I have a soft spot for, you know, people with disabilities and, you know, especially autism. And I remember one of the first things I watched on the Learning Channel or Discovery Channel when I learned about savants. And to me, they are fucking superheroes in real life because of what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this. I remember this one episode. This kid was blind, like legally blind, and he would draw on big pieces of manuscript, and he would be so close to the paper, and then when you would pan back, it'd be this amazing landscape of places that fucking existed, but he's legally blind and he'd never been able to see it.
Yeah.
So shit like that, I've always, because that captivates the, you know, superhero heart that I have had for, you know, many years of my life, dating back to me being 5. You know, I've always connected with that stuff, and me being, you know, not clinically disabled, but with my asthma, like if you seen it, you know, I didn't even think of my asthma as a disease until I was fucking 18. I was like, that's just a part of me. I never really thought about it until I started filling out stuff. And you know, because my medical records have always been the size of freaking Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was just always part of me. And so
because you're not a victim. You're not a victim. That's why.
And you know, I never thought of that shit as a disease all these years. And you know, and it could be looked at as a somewhat of a disability, but not true in the sense. And so I guess that part of me and me gravitating to those stories and whatnot when I had to stay home from school, which is why I said last time that Stanley was like my grandpa that I didn't know, who always had cool stories to tell because I was reading his stories. And, you know, him and Jack Kirby created these worlds for people. And I was in those worlds every time I was homesick with an asthma attack or when I was in the hospital, you know, in the ICU because I was having an asthma attack. So that's why it was so important to me growing up with that. And that's why it hit me so hard when Stanley died. You know, I was like, that's my grandpa died, and all the stories that he told me are not gone, but he's gone. You know, I can still relive those stories in those comics and stuff, and these characters that we're seeing in the MCU. So, you know, having someone with a disability be at the focal point of something is super awesome to me. Making Isherwell kind of the bad guy, arrogant in itself. You're like, okay, but you know,
it's good to see him as the bad guy, as somebody,
cool.
As somebody with mental curiosities about them. It's good to see someone like that as the villain. Like I'm so tired of always the trope of the special ed dude's the fucking good guy. Or the best friend to the good, you know, some students like, dude, we can be evil too, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, don't just paint us off as, oh, they're autistic, so they have to be a good person. We have to make them look good. It's like, you ain't gotta make me look good no fucking way. If I want to be a bad guy, I will be a fucking bad guy.
Now, you need to bring up another interesting point. I have met some autistic and some people with Down syndrome who are utter assholes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. They would make for great TV show villains or movie villains. Holy shit.
I am the first one to say, I don't care your age, your position, you're nothing. You want me to respect you? That shit is earned. 100%. Your rank or nothing don't mean dick to me. I've met some old people that are cool as fuck. I've met some old people that are 100% assholes.
Yeah.
Them assholes don't get my respect your elders or be kind to those that are differently abled. Fuck you. You a dick. I'm gonna knock you down the fucking stairs. I don't care if you're all fucking pretzels up or nothing. You're rolling into some fucking mustard.
For sure, dude. It's
Like that.
golden rule. Golden rule. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. That's what it
Exactly.
That's
if you're broken and fucking folded up and you're still gonna be a fucking evil ass dick, fuck you. I'm gonna pee in your fucking IV.
Damn, I never heard an IV before.
Like, I mean, no, I agree. I like the chick from American Horror Story. The fuck is the actress's name?
I don't watch that because I'm a little bitch when it comes to scary stuff. Y'all know that.
But they're, scary. You know who I'm talking about.
She played the daughter in the first season, right?
Yeah, the daughter, and then
she was Nan in Coven.
Yes, Nan.
I can't remember her name either.
Chick, but this chick is straight up Down syndrome, fucking Al. Like, what, like shows, signs, talks, all that. But that little bitch, fucking evil. Like, straight, she dies and goes and fucking lives with a demon as his best friend.
Papa Legba. Yep.
Yeah, like, I love that. Like, get it, Nan, you wicked little fucker. Kill them motherfuckers. I love, because it's like before that you had like Corky from Life Goes On and shit. You know, it's like,
dude, I loved that fucking show.
Forrest Gump and shit, or even like fucking Sling Blade with the French fried potatoes, looking ass self. That motherfucker, he was still a misunderstood killer. Like, he didn't know no better.
Right.
Nan was straight fucking murking motherfucker. Like, Nan gives no fuck, no fucks.
Well, it was also like
right and wrong.
Also like the TV show Glee, because I used to watch Glee.
Nice.
There was the one girl who was a cheerleader, and she had Down syndrome, and she was nasty.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
She had her moments where she was like soften up a little bit, but like 90% of her character, she was nasty.
Mm-hmm. My uncle was all about Glee and watching that show. He used to tell me about that shit. Like, yeah. And I love that. I want to see more of that. Don't just put fucking special ed people in a fucking good guy role because you want them to be painted in a positive societal light. Show them fucking equality. Asshole knows no demographic check markers.
Okay.
Asshole can be brown.
You're talking about Jamie Brewer, aren't you? From American Horror Story?
Yeah, is that?
I think that's her name. Yeah.
I just know her as Nan and the girl with Down syndrome from American Horror Story. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's see.
Her name was like Adeline or Addie or something in the first season.
Yeah, Addie.
What is she?
It's a Ryan Murphy thing, because Ryan, and those are both of his shows, Glee and American Horror Story, and
yeah, Addie. Yes, she was named as Adelaide. Langdon. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great character, well developed. Like, it's awesome to see. Like, I love when stereotypes of all kinds are broken.
Oh, for sure.
Or if they're shown, in the proper light for the need of a story, cool. But it's like, beyond like the classic, like the killer nurse or like the Black Widow or the Gigolo, but like the Down syndrome supervillain, hell yeah, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, because
nobody sees it. Go ahead, Scary.
When do you guys talk?
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say in like the first season, she was just playfully evil, and then when she was in Coven, and after she died and he became Papa Legba's like right hand man, she was just straight up evil. I loved it.
Oh, dude, like, yeah. When she is like pulls the cloak down, it's like, man, you're back. You're gonna come back with no. I like it here. Papa Legba is nice to me. Like, ooh. Ooh.
Didn't she say something like "you bitches are boring" or something like that?
Yeah, like, dude, like, Al, dude, you got to go on YouTube and Google Nan Moments American Horror Story. They're fucking like, dude, she's talking about fucking the next door neighbor and shit, and it's like, dude, I don't. No, girl, no. How do you know these things?
And what she did
Like-
to Patty LaPone, man. Oof.
Oh my god, ruthless.
A part of me doesn't want to know.
Ruthless, dude. Like ruthless. Like so well done. So well fucking done.
Yeah.
But it's like I love it. When,
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
gonna say. No, I was just gonna say like the fucking breaking the stereotypes thing is what really did it for me too with fucking Don't Look Up, because like all the characters were so multifaceted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like well, except for the like the back, like the main characters, Leo, Jennifer Lawrence, fucking even the main the good guys supporting cast, like the black scientist and her token white boyfriend, Ogilvy and
no, it was Oglethorpe. Ogilvy was the guy.
Oglethorpe, yeah.
Oglethorpe was the name of the black scientist, and Ogilvy is the name of the astronomer in War of the Worlds that spots the launch of the Martian invasion. So when they made that reference, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, hold on a second. Yeah, Oglethorpe, that dude, that was a badass character. Awesome actor. Can't remember his name either because I suck with names.
So
but I like for a supporting character, I liked Oglethorpe.
yeah, he was
like,
a great character because you could see the stress and how it was really weighing on him too. Like all three of those characters, Jennifer Lawrence character.
Oh yeah, and they
Cappuccino
played
character.
so well off of each other.
Yes, it's like the acting in this movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not what I expected. Going in with the trailer when I saw it on Netflix initially, I was like, oh, okay.
No.
But I will say this: I know she's got makeup on, but this is the second movie in a row where Cate Blanchett can get it.
Yeah.
Because the first one was freaking her as Hela in
Oh
Ragnarok,
my god.
playing the
Dude,
baddie.
yes.
And then in this one, I was like, holy shit, Cate Blanchett can get it.
Every single female in this movie of consenting accepted age, aka 18 and above, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, Leo's wife, they're all like, yeah, they're hot. If they're in their optimal physical peakness, they're fucking dimes upon dimes, but they look like normal people.
Yeah.
Right. They did.
And like and they're all sexy as fuck. Like
in their own right, in their own dynamic of how they were portrayed in the film. I was like, oh shit. You know, Leo's
right?
wife had the wife next door, soccer mom.
Oh, dude. Oh,
you know
my God. Like, yeah, Mrs. How you doing, Mrs. Parker? When you let me fuck, Miss Parker?
Yeah, and you know, she had a plain Jane face. I mean, Cate Blanchett and Jennifer Lawrence are way cuter than her, but she still had that only mom appeal. It's like, you know, it's weird, and I'll probably get teased for this, but there was something kind of sexy. Like I said, I don't find her super physically attractive, but I found parts of her attractive, like parts of her personality attractive. When she fucking started throwing all the medical bottles, the pill bottles.
Dude, the pills, yes.
And Cialis.
For the world's sexiest scientist.
So I was like, that's kind of hot, man. That was kind of hot.
Right? It's like, now I see why Leo was fucking you. Okay.
But if I had to pick out of those, it would definitely be Cate Blanchett, because her character was fucking hilarious. And even freaking her and Tyler Perry's banter on the screen and how they went off of each other, I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And he's like, you wanna have sex? And it's like, I think I just want to keep drinking. You know,
I'm talking shit about people. Like, yep. Like, dude, I'd have to try and arrange an orgy with all four.
Nice.
I couldn't pick. I could not pick. Like, it would be y'all, each one of y'all is going to get it. Y'all get to pick the order. Who wants to taste who? Just let me know.
You dirty Oh, man.
Well, like dude, the movie's just good overall. Like, we need more films like this.
I mean, if you want to scare yourself half to death, yeah, for sure.
I loved it. The sense of realism in there. I mean, there's one dude that I follow on TikTok, Straw Hat Goofy. A lot of his fucking movies I've checked out. God, I know I should have wrote this down before I hopped on there, but there's the fuck is it called? God, I'm a fucking stoner.
It's all good.
It's a black and white fucking film that just came out.
We forgive you.
I remember the name of it, but he's got some good fucking, yeah, he's got some good movie suggestions because there's, and a lot of them are not coming from big name fucking companies anymore, which I'm loving. Like, I'm not excited about Aquaman 2. I'm not excited about most of the quote unquote blockbusters that are out there. Like, I'm good. Bring them to streaming platforms.
Yeah.
You guys got me queuing up what we were talking about earlier, so I can watch it later. Fortress.
Oh, Fortress, dude, Fortress. Dude, that's what we got to do. We should just do an episode on like before there was DVD.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Like, one of the things that kids will never understand is how many different versions of one movie we saw as kids.
Yeah.
Like, you had your edited TV version, you had your edited for time TV version, you had edited for content TV version, you had the full cable version, you had the theatrical version, you had the home release version,
and then you had the uncut version,
and then you had the letterbox version, you had the widescreen. Like, dude, like
that's definitely a good point. And I will never forget one of the worst times. There were two movies that are full of content that is not suitable for certain viewers that of a certain age. And I saw them both on USA one time. And my best friend and I were cracking up watching that shit because we had seen both of these movies 100 times and knew them damn near line by line. And the two movies were Coming to America and The First Friday, 1995. And USA and how they garbled this up. Just one of the things I remember is instead of saying son of a bitch, it was edited to say, you son of a wit. We could not stop.
Oh my God.
I was like, really, USA? You can just bleep it out? You son of a wit. You lying ass mother lover is what it's.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because of the edited version of that, I started saying mother lover.
Oh shit! And exactly, like, son of a wit is how we would like playfully curse each other out from then on.
Dude, for real, you ain't lying.
So USA was a fun thing to watch for certain movies, and I had
Heavy Metal.
Dude, Heavy Metal is one of my all-time favorite animated movies. And
you ever see it on normal TV?
Yes, I have.
It's like 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes long.
Dude, it's not even worth having released. They cut so much shit. Like, it might as well be an episode of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Dude, for real. Like, that's another movie that could not be made today.
No, it couldn't.
No way.
Not at all. Revenge of the Nerds. None of that shit.
Blazing Saddles, Porky's.
Yes.
Yep. Dude.
I do, or even one of my guilty pleasures, two of them, and I know you both will remember these because we come from the same cut and mold of entertainment. Frickin' the first one is Just One of the Guys.
Yes.
Oh.
that couldn't be made today because they would really fuck it up and put too much PC stuff in it. And like I said, I don't have a problem with PC stuff, but again, sometimes it's okay to just tell it like it is because you're entertaining someone. That's not indicative of what you believe in. You're just telling a story from a point of view. And so
exactly.
And then the other one is freaking Zapped with Scott Baio and Willie Ames.
Yeah.
I loved Both of those movies. Even Zapped 2 was okay. It was, but it was definitely wasn't the first. It definitely wasn't to the degree the first one was awesome, but I still liked it. But Zapped and Just One of the Guys are two of my favorite B movies from back in the day.
Best line of Just One of the Guys is, "It's okay, everybody. He's got tits."
Yep. And dude, she was freaking gorgeous. I only saw her in like maybe 2 or 3 things after that, and
yeah,
it was crazy.
And when she opened that shirt at the prom.
Do you know how many? That's like the equivalent of Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Phoebe Cates.
Oh,
and,
Phoebe
you know,
Cates.
I paused that shit on Just One of the Guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I'm gonna go a little bit older than that on you. Bachelor Party.
Oh my God.
Not familiar. Who's in that?
Was that Hanks? Tom Hanks, right?
That was Tom Hanks right off of TV. That's another one they could not make nowadays. Like that movie was
1984. Okay.
It makes fucking The Hangover look tame.
It sure does.
Like, yeah. I mean, it took them 24 years to make a sequel.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
So
that was the type of like Adventures in Babysitting, fucking. I mean, you couldn't even do Big nowadays.
No, well, they did redo it with the girl version, though.
No,
they reversed it. It was the little girl from Blackish, Danielle, and it was actually a great homage to that movie idea. I really enjoyed that one. It was called Little, so you get the premise. It was fun to watch. But what you call it?
You remember there's one movie that if it were made today, it'd be pulled off the shelves, starring C. Thomas Howell, called Soul Man. Do you remember that movie?
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
There'd be riots.
I have to disagree. I have to disagree with you on that one point, Scary. Just simply for the fact of 2 words: Tropic Thunder.
See, Tropic Thunder did it in a very, very great way. So
if you look at Soul Man, it's a similar thing. It wasn't done to be racist. It was done so he could go to school.
Yeah, they'd have to tweak it a little bit because the people would be pissed off. If White Chicks came out today, people would still be pissed off about that. And that movie was like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so, it was funny as fuck the way that they did it and the way they pulled it off, and some of the fun stereotypes, but there was nothing really like racially discriminatory about that movie that I recall off the top of my head that should offend the most normal person, because it was all in fun and games. Nobody was trying to get hurt. They weren't trying to hurt anybody, when they made that film.
That's very true.
And so if you were to do the reverse of that with Soul Man, there would be a lot of flack on that, even if you did it in today's light, kind of in the reverse situation of White Chicks, where you had a white kid that had the ability to get makeup done from their special effects buddy to be made look as a black kid, and then go out about his life to do something, to go to an HBC school or some HBCU school or something like that, and it turned into a whole thing where they knock down barriers, and then well, just because it's a story of black college university, doesn't mean that all white people have to go there. I've known some white people that have gone to HBCUs, and it could create like a conversation that way if they did it right, but not from a purely racial standpoint. And they can also paint the narrative in a picture of finally letting someone walk a mile in the black man's shoes, and some of the shit that he'd have to go through, because it could be comedic, but there could also be that one point in the movie where shit gets real and he almost gets into some shit he doesn't need to get into because he is a black man at that point and not in his alter ego out of makeup per se. So they could really make a clever movie out of that with today's spin on it.
Yeah.
They really could.
They could.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That shit right there. That would be fucking dope.
And you know, with all of the shit that's happening, because I mean, we know the media is evil for the most part, and you know, there's all kinds of things that don't get told, and there's all, you know, three sides to the story, hers, mine, and what really happened, and all that shit. But you could definitely make a really good, poignant movie with a good message and story to tell, with comedy and some serious pieces in there that could talk to a bunch of different people today. I think it could work.
I'd like to see that one done in reverse then, honestly. If we're gonna reverse anyone, do Soul Man in reverse.
But we already got that with white chicks though.
No, I mean on that same thing, the whole actually living a day in a quote unquote white man's shoes.
Oh, okay. From that standpoint of having a
Yeah,
having this, yeah, okay, I got you. So,
not the atypical rich white people shit, but like an average white person.
yeah, see what happens, and shit,
Yeah.
I would love to see both films made. Honestly, shit.
Oh, I agree.
You know, you have this kid who can't, guy or girl, doesn't matter, who can't get into school or can't get the job that they're wanting because they're black, so they dress up like a white person, and then they go and get the job, and they live two freaking lives from now on. You know, basically their superhero self is, you know, who they are at work, and then their secret identity is their person when they're not at work, and then they intertwine sometimes because somebody meets him or her outside of work, and you know, they work with that person and don't realize it, and then you're like, oh, we're gonna have to have a let's go out for happy hour or something, and then it has the classic thing where they have to be both people at the same time at the same place.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
I would still keep it as I would definitely still keep it as school. I wouldn't bring it into the workplace. I'd still keep it at an environment of being in a school just to keep that same
The same premise of
dynamic going. Yeah, the
So,
same dynamic going.
so would you?
Because if we really want to get into it about hiring nowadays, that's an entirely different conversation right there.
It definitely can be. So would you want to keep it going to like a regular college, or we're talking Ivy League college, or just your standard old university where you're at home, or a state over or something like that?
Oh no, I'd say it would be like a fictional Ivy League college that's exclusive for one demographic. It doesn't have to be black and white either, as long as it's the opposite of what someone's going for. You know, we're not opposite, but you know, not what they are. Like, let's say if like an Indian dude or a Mexican dude trying to get into like a black college, or like
Yeah.
I'd say a white college, but there aren't any, which I know kind of makes me scratch my head on the whole racism topic, but
that could be interesting. You know, maybe we should start a whole pitch movie ideas podcast at the end. At the end of all of these sessions, you know,
that would be pretty cool. But no, that just almost walked me through a door that would instantly probably get my ass canceled. But I'm all about the hot takes. It just finds it funny that there's still black colleges, but there's no all white colleges or all anything else colleges. It just
yeah, that's a interesting conversation to have, because and it is Black History Month, so I'll touch on it real quick on my opinion. You know, they talk about schools, they talk about just regular old places that we weren't allowed to go back in the day. So when you can't have what everybody else has, you start your own. And I understood that standpoint of it. But when you try to look at things today, you know, everybody wants to be treated equally. So if there was an all now, like absolutely, like right now, completely all Caucasian school, heads would roll.
Yeah.
And then, but again, at those, you know, quote unquote black colleges, they don't just limit you to being black to get into them, but it helps. But I can see where you're coming at with that. It can,
let's say that there was a college out there that started where we're only going to take white people, or we're only going to take Mexican people, or we're only going to take these people. regardless of what it was in the past, doesn't mean it's how it should be now. I understand the tradition and the history of how it came to be, and I respect that. And I love the fact that you don't have to be just a certain color to go to a certain school, but
Right.
the line of it helps if you are, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Understood. Yeah, and again, like I totally agree with you. The premise behind it and the reasonings behind it, we definitely respect how it had to get there. And yes, there's still a lot of those conversations that need to be had into why institutions like that still exist, because there are still things that haven't progressed as much as we'd like to, but still have progressed quite a bit of ways in the last couple of 100 years. But yeah,
And
it's
if they haven't progressed forward, then we need to start focusing conversations towards that fact to fix that shit.
for sure. Absolutely. Those are conversations.
As someone that got literally fed up with applying for jobs because you start hearing HR people talking about, oh, well, this person's a bigger tax break, let's go with them because of the color of their skin.
Yeah,
And you don't get a
that's that
job
shady.
for that.
Yeah, that's that shady shit. That I don't agree with.
Like, I don't like it 100%. Like I've said it before, and I'll keep on saying it. I don't care what demographic markers you can check off. If you can do a job and you're qualified, or you're more qualified than someone else, or different demographic check marks, you're more qualified. You get the fucking job, not
Yeah.
what bracket you fucking fill for my needed fucking shit to fill in. Like, nah, son, that's fucked
But
up.
again, it all boils down to the almighty dollar and profit, man. It really
Oh, I
does.
agree.
And
I agree.
that mindset needs to switch. It's like, start doing what's right and what's best for the people, as opposed to what's best for your pockets. And I was like, I get we're in the world of business, and business is in the game of making money, but you can still have ethical business practices and still promote that type of existence with people. And he's like, oh well, shoot, I got a Native American that's applying for this job. Hell yeah, I'm gonna hire them. Shoot, we'll get a tax break for that. And I was like, that's not right. And
No.
so yeah, those are other conversations that can be had. And yeah,
The only group that I would make an exception for are veterans.
gotcha.
Just because of how shittily the government treats their employees. You know what I mean? They'll and the fuckery that an actual vet goes through to become a vet, and then just be like, okay, you're discharged, go away. Yeah, no, y'all get exception. But anything else, we're fucking human. If we're gonna be looking at each other as human beings, and we have to start treating each other as fucking human beings. And I know a lot of people are gonna say that, oh, that's a good pipe dream to have. It's a fucking reality because it's how I operate.
Yeah, and it can be done if you get enough like-minded individuals to come together and create that world.
And the only way to accomplish that is by not censoring people, by not muting voices, by allowing everybody to have their voice heard, regardless of whether or not you think they're a fucking idiot or if you think they're fucking Einstein for your cause. It doesn't matter. Every voice has a right to be fucking heard.
And dude, that made me think about something else you and I talked about off air. Freaking Hannah season 3. Is it Hannah or Hannah? Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah. And for those who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil shit, but the whole premise of that season was to shut people up that they didn't want making a big stir later on. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So it's freaking it was freaking just like Captain America or Winter Soldier, Project Insight, damn near. Getting rid of the people who might be a problem in the future. And I was like, wow, holy shit. So that's something to think about too. And then you think about all the surveillance and the devices that we have that hear you, being on the grid and all that stuff. They do build these freaking profiles on people with all these algorithms and shit, and it's scary as hell.
Yeah, like that's what the Kyle Rittenhouse trial fucking showed us, and why everybody on both sides of the issues are so pissed. Like you had drone, you had pinpoint fucking million pixels per fucking square inch detailed photos of this spot in a dark street in Kenosha. What else do you fucking have of people destroying businesses and their livelihoods, of people getting murdered on both sides of the line? Like, why are we just seeing this here?
Right.
Why aren't we seeing this all over the place? Like, if we're in a fucking police state, we're in a goddamn police state. We're being watched. We're being watched. Let's be able to use that shit for our fucking benefit.
Very
Be
true.
able to not only start some dialogues, but actually end some dialogues and be able to move forward.
Shoot, think about Minority Report, man. And like I said, Enemy of the State, Eagle Eye, all those kinds of things and that technology. Even what's that movie, Will Smith? I, Robot. All that kind of stuff makes you think about those kinds of things.
Oh shit, go listen to the fucking Joe Rogan podcast where fucking Edward Snowden's on that bitch. Like, you want to go get it. That is a man that, regardless of what you think about what he did, he worked for the people. He was the one spying. He was the one doing that, coming out and saying, yeah, no, this is what we actually did. Let's have a conversation about it.
Right.
Like that's scary shit. Where it's like, no, this is what we really did.
For sure.
This is what's really going on. Like, and that's the type of stuff where we actually, as people, need to use as tools to fix what the fuck's wrong, so we don't have a don't look up situation again.
Yeah. There needs to be, we got all these Wreck-It Ralphs out there, and when you have old boy Bob the Builder kind of like character fixing stuff, we need to fix the stuff.
Yeah, we really do.
And I got 4 minutes before I got to go do my dadly duties.
Oh, you're good. I know you got the midget over there, probably thinking you're a rock star now that you're up in here doing the podcast with us.
Yeah, she knocked. I was like, oh, honey, daddy's recording. But
what?
But I would say, just to circle it back, like we did last time, we tied in all kinds of shit from every part of the spectrum into our main topic. What are your guys' key takeaways from Don't Look Up, from a movie standpoint and from a reality standpoint? I'm Gary goes first. What is the message that you received from this movie?
The message that I've received is that I have never seen a clearer, truer display of the modern republic we live in since the last time I watched C-SPAN.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's the easiest way I can say it.
Gotcha. And Scary?
Everything that was said in that song that Ariana Grande said. Like, that was just, to me, amazing. I think the movie did such a great job with every facet of how we view the media and how we really think.
I just you saying that, I just thought of the end part where fucking Jennifer Lawrence's phone is flying through the space. Yes. And the alarm's going up. Like the little things. Yeah, I cannot agree with that any more than dude, yes.
And that's honestly my takeaway from it. Like, everything about it was just amazing. Afterwards, you're just sitting there, like 2 days later, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. Something hits you. And it's just like, that's also, now I'm
no pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's
so true. So true.
For me, it was, a satirical / serious truth about society. Like you guys said, the way media is, the way that people look at what's popular, what's trending, who's popular, who's trending, over what's really going on. And you think of some of the memes that you see online nowadays where there is a guy drowning and then you have like 7 people off to the side recording, and nobody's trying to help the person.
Yeah.
It makes you think about stuff like that. And so that movie really kind of mind fucked me. I won't say it did it as bad as another movie that we could talk about another time, which is called Kids from 1995 or 94.
Oh, do you want to talk about Kids, bro?
We can talk about Kids one day, but that movie literally fucked me up for years. I was already very much an introvert because of that, but knowing how to be the extrovert because of being sick and having to talk to doctors and moving to different schools, being a military kid and stuff like that, I knew how to extrovert. I just didn't want to. But that movie, with my mom being a nurse, telling me all the crazy stories, being an OBGYN nurse and being an ICU nurse, an emergency room nurse and stuff like that, that movie made me never want to leave my fucking house again. Because I didn't want to begin with, but that movie solidified me not wanting to go to parties, not wanting to get drunk, not wanting to do drugs. I didn't want to do shit other than stay in my room, draw, play video games, and read comics after that movie. I was like, oh, hell no. That movie fucked me up. That movie fucked me up.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I still think about that movie years later. And the crazy piece about it, before I jump off, it introduced me to one of my favorite crushes of all time. And I didn't even realize it until I saw Men in Black 2 that it was her, freaking Rosario Dawson.
Yep.
I didn't know. I was like, this girl is so beautiful. When I saw Men in Black 2, it's like, she looks so familiar. Who is this girl? Why do I recognize her? Why? And then I IMDb'd her when that movie came out afterwards. And I was like, oh shit, that's her from Kids. She was 15 in that movie. We're the same age. It's okay to have a crush on her. So,
oh, dude. Like, yeah, Kids is something else.
So yeah. So this movie didn't impact me as much as Kids did on like a real level, because this movie had a lot of comedic elements in it, but it still fucked my brain up.
Yeah.
It still mind fucked me a lot. And just like that movie Knowing, which took a totally different turn at the end, other than just the world ending, but some other shit happened. And did both of you see that movie, Knowing?
Yeah.
I saw clips from it. I didn't see it in its entirety.
Scary. You gotta watch that movie so we can talk about it. Not necessarily here, but we can talk about it in our group chat.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was that movie went from like, oh, that to oh. You're like, oh, that's where we're going with this. Okay, not just end of the world, but this. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'm with the shits. Okay, cool. And so when I think of world-ending movies, I think of that. I think of 2012, and then I think of this one now. of give me the ark, let me win the lottery so I can build my bunker or secure my people's passage on this ark where we go somewhere and cryo sleep for however many years. Please.
Right. Let me go kick it with Elon for a little bit, and we can hook some stuff up. And
yeah, man. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I have to skedaddle.
Yeah, it was a good podcast. Good podcast, gentlemen.
Agreed.
Very good.
Definitely.
I had fun, just like last time. So I appreciate y'all for bringing me on, and it's a pleasure shooting the shit and talking about real shit and fun shit with y'all.
Absolutely. We'll be doing it again soon.
All right, my dudes.
Yes.
All right.
Peace and hair grease.
Thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.